Welcome, beautiful souls. This is your collective forecast for the week of July 6th through July 12th. And we have a couple of different areas we're going to speak to, starting with your spiritual growth and development being highlighted through two transits. So we have a waxing gibbous moon in Scorpio on July 6th. And then we also have Uranus entering Gemini on July 7th. So those transits are highlighting your spiritual growth, and there's emotional depth and transformation occurring, as well as a sudden shift in collective awareness that may arise. So you're really being guided to connect with your intuition and allow that to spark and ignite through synchronicities, downloads, and any light codes and activations that you may feel are for you at this time. And I do want to first see here, wonderful, you are showing up as the magician. You're showing up in your full power and continuing to expand and explore that side of yourself, getting back to more of what is authentically you, remembering who you are and why you came here, what your purpose was, what your calling is. We also have you sort of taking a direct and bold approach to learning and growing and raising your frequency and vibration here. We also have you being positive and being open to luck and fortune and prosperity, and that coming in all forms, not just monetarily, but spiritually as well as financially, but then also with love and relationships as well. So you're open, and I love to see that here. And I know we're really speaking to that spiritual growth and development, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here, but yeah, definitely open to expanding your consciousness and seeing what all that entails. And we did mention briefly about the light codes and the activations that you're receiving. So this is like you gaining wisdom and knowledge just for existing, just as a part of you remembering who you are and a part of you advancing on your journey here of growth. Yeah, you're seeing things clearly. The things that you're learning, you're coming into a greater knowing, a greater understanding. You're also learning and exploring your gifts and talents, and you're understanding them more. And I'm seeing like specifically, like some of you may be psychic and you may start to see things clearly. You may start to have those visions coming through. You may also... I'm also seeing like these are other senses, like tasting, smelling, those types of gifts and talents that may exist to you are also shining through. So it could be some of those lesser known clairs that are connecting with you at this time and being activated as a part of you continuing to expand your frequency and grow. You are also thinking of things in a more analytical way as it relates to elevating your consciousness and your spirituality. So you may be watching videos or gaining more knowledge and education on life, on the spiritual process, on the journey, on your true calling and purpose here. So let's see what else here. Okay, so we have you getting out of a situation, and to me this is very strongly about you like stepping out of your comfort zone and allowing yourself to grow and advance and learn and being flexible and being open to what is more to come, because in some cases it may seem a little scary here, especially if you're getting into your psychic abilities and you're starting to see things, you're starting to connect with interdimensional beings. That just visualization may come up, it may startle you, it may surprise you, but this is you getting out of your comfort zone and recognizing and realizing that, yeah, it is time to evolve and expand my consciousness. I mean, we have spiritual guidance right here. And this is also that confirmation and trust that you are safe, you are protected. You don't even need to say it because it already exists as is. Okay, so sometimes, you know, I do throw that in there as part of protection, but I try to reframe it into, you know, feeling secure, trusting in who you are, trusting that all that comes to you is actually meant for you. There's a lesson in that for you, and recognizing what comes to you that's not for you, you're able to let that go. You're not in need of protection in some way. okay? But you definitely have to do what feels good to you and what feels right to you, because some of you may not be in a position, or based off of your spiritual advancement and evolution, you may feel like that is necessary to connect with guardian angels or any energies that do protect you at this time. So it's really totally, truly up to you and what you feel like you need. So let's look at any obstacles that may come up here. So we have the 8 of Cups, you putting in that effort and maybe feeling a little drained or discontent, or just feeling a little resistance to the change and to the transformation that's coming. So staying in those comfort zones, knowing that that's not who you came to be and that's not who you are. It's not aligned with your truth. So you may be really guided to step out of those comfort zones and walk towards what is fulfilling you. It is time. It is time. What else? We also have the 4 of Swords here. So some of you may need some rest here. You may need to replenish your soul. You may need to replenish body, mind, and soul here is what I'm hearing. And some of you may find a challenge with that. You may resist that. You may feel like, now more than ever, you need to be out there taking inspired action. And that is wonderful. That is amazing. That is awesome. You're encouraged to do that. However, don't forget those self-care practices. Ensure that you are getting them in, because that is going to come up as a challenge for you in some way. So it may come across as you feeling drained or feeling extra tired. And it really is just a need for you to connect, to relax your mind, and to be in that source space, that source energy, which is ultimately you at your higher self. You connected with your higher energy, and you getting the replenishment that you're seeking, so that you can have more energy and feel up to it. So we also have the Knight of Pentacles here. Okay, so you may also find that you need to be a little more focused in your efforts here, because as you are developing and you're recognizing these new talents and you're seeing the work that you're putting in come through, and it may just be dripping through like little snippets here and there, little things that you're seeing here and there, or just recognizing in yourself that, yeah, I've changed. I've really grown here. So it may not come as fast as you're desiring, or it may not be exactly like what you want to see. But it is important for you to continue to work towards that, because some of you may get discouraged by that. And you may stop progress, or you may take a sidetrack or get distracted in some way, when you're really being guided to continue along your path. Continue taking inspired action toward the development of your gifts and remembering who you are. Okay, so let's look at some guidance here. Okay, so there is opportunity here for you to regulate your emotions, and for you to really work on balancing your emotions and being emotionally intelligent and processing the light and processing the truth in a constructive way. So it's not about just knowing the truth, but it's also about communicating that in a loving way, in an unconditionally loving way, in a way that is constructive. So it doesn't have to be like all sing-songy. It can be direct and straightforward, but just as long as it is in a constructive way. So whatever way that feels good to you, whatever way that you understand and know that you're keeping those relationships open and you're keeping that connection intact, is what you're being guided to do here. And this is also you being kind to yourself and speaking to yourself in a positive tone, in a positive way, and using thoughts and ideas and language that is positive, that is unconditionally loving with yourself. It's not about just using that in your external environment and with individuals. It's using that language with yourself as well. So what else do we have here? So we have strengthening relationships, connecting with soul family. So there may be some individuals out there. This could be your partner that you're in a relationship with. This could be friends. This could be family. But there is soul family out there. This could be a coach, a mentor, a guide of spiritual guide of some sort. But there is knowledge and wisdom that they have that they can share with you at this time that is going to be beneficial to your process, to your evolution, to your growth. Like you may come into contact with these individuals, you may see a post, you may attend a session with them or a meeting, and you're definitely going to find some revelations. Even if it doesn't come right at that point in time, it's going to come to you later. You're going to be like, whoa, my mind is blown. I didn't even think about things in that way. And sometimes I will come into some revelations later on, like a couple months later, and be like, oh my goodness, this is what my spiritual guide, my spiritual coach, mentor was talking about. Okay? So just be on the lookout for that and keep yourself open to that. What else? We have options. Wonderful. Yes. So it's not just about you seeing things differently, having new revelations come to you, expanding your frequency and consciousness. But it's also about, well, I lost my train of thought there, but what I want to say is that those options and those new revelations are going to translate into 3D actions. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was trying to say there. I completely lost my train of thought, but yeah, that's where I was going with it, that it's not just about creating new philosophies in your mind or connecting with individuals that are teaching these new philosophies that you're coming into. They're not new, but you're coming into them now and viewing them as new. But it's also about exercising that and constructing that in a way that it extends out in your environment. Okay, so you being the change that you want to see, you operating on a higher frequency and vibration and putting that energy out so that that is what you receive back. Okay, so you will find there are many different ways that you can be inspired to do that here. Okay, so let's see what else. Let's look at some outcomes here. Okay, wonderful. We have the Emperor, we have the big boss coming through, and you going even from the Magician to the Emperor. So again, it's not about you just elevating your frequency, but it's also about you executing and that coming back to you in the 3D. Abundance and blessings coming through because of the frequency that you're operating on. So this is all the things that you've been working towards starting to come to fruition for you. Wonderful. What else? So we have the Knight of Cups here as well. So it's all here for you. Okay, so we have potential love coming through to you if that's what you're desiring. And I'm also feeling like this could be just love for yourself. You connecting with your ego and higher self, becoming one. Figuring out the best ways to utilize your ego to allow that to help you to exist in this 3D experience for you, and not viewing it as something negative or bad or something you need to let go of or get rid of or something that's harming you. But you elevating your frequency to a place where you see how it is helpful to you and you're leveraging it to be helpful to you to continue to grow and develop. What else? Okay, so we have Ace of Swords. So we also have just pure unconditional love coming through and flowing through you. New strategies here coming up. So we're seeing like, yeah, definitely new ideas here. And new philosophies, new ways of doing things, new ways of being, new ways of communicating, new ways of understanding the world around you, new ways of connecting with the world around you, and new ways of connecting internally within. I love it. All right, let's see. Let's get an oracle here for this. So we have many meanings and even some misunderstandings that may occur here. So continue on your path, continue on your journey, and just know that they may come up. You may be perceived in a way that you're not intending, or you may misunderstand messages that are being communicated to you, misunderstand your intuition in some way. That's a part of the process. That's a part of you growing and advancing and learning. So now you know, okay, when I'm feeling this way, it actually means this, as opposed to what I thought it meant before. Lesson learned. Now let's move on. That's all. Okay, so let me get an oracle, another oracle here. So we have opportunities here. Just that confirmation of that's what this is leading to. Growth, development, abundance, and fulfillment, and blessings coming your way. Okay, so let's move to another transit here. So on July 10th, you have the moon entering Capricorn, and that's going to highlight your career and finances. That's going to bring structure, discipline, and opportunities for manifestation. So it's really going to create a turning point. So it's going to be time for you to course correct based on your inner wisdom and outer ambitions. So really balancing that out between what you're desiring and the opportunities that you're creating in the 3D world here. Yeah, passion. You are going to be focus more than ever on the things that you feel passionate about. And if you don't feel that way, then this is opportunity for you to do that, to start to consider, look at all the options available in front of you and decide what is the priority, what is important to you. So we have the Knight of Swords here. You taking a really bold and direct approach towards your dreams. This is you really charging towards your goals and trusting your intuition and trusting the process and trusting that anything that comes to you is a lesson, it's a blessing, and it's going to benefit you in some way, regardless of what happens. Okay, so we also have the Four of Wands here, so we absolutely have opportunity for you to step into a new portal. So this could be one where you are met with opportunities for growth, for increasing your financial wealth. So you may decide that you want to own a business or start a business, or you want to start providing particular products or services. You want to share videos to the community and, you know, work towards being monetized off of that. You want to collaborate with others or partner with others. You may decide that there's a particular position that you want to go after or apply for. You may receive an offer for a higher paying position or for a project or something that's going to bring you prosperity in some way, even if it's just acknowledgement and reward for a job well done. Okay? But yeah, definitely opportunities to step into a new portal that is abundant and prosperous. And let's see, let's look at some challenges here. Okay, so you will want to just ensure that this is what aligns with you authentically, because I'm feeling like some of you may be considering going for a higher payer position or job or taking on a project, but you're really not passionate about it. You're really not feeling it, but it's going to, you know, put you closer, position you closer to that higher paying job at your employer, or you may think it may also, I forgot what I was going to say there. Yeah, but this is definitely about you considering. It was an example to show how you were considering your options and considering if it's truly right for you, because that is going to come up as a challenge for you. So that's really what I wanted to say. And you may need to consider, like, do I want to start my own business and put my effort into that while I'm working a 9 to 5, or do I want to really like go hard at my 9 to 5 and try to think of ways that I can put myself out there and take on more, so that eventually it will end up in, additional opportunity or prosperity coming towards me. So that's what I wanted to say. I just forgot the example I was going to use. So yeah, this may come up as an area where you need to work things out and figure out what you want, what's important to you. Okay. So what other obstacles do we have here? You creating balance. Yeah, so whatever decisions you're making, you will want to consider how you're going to balance things. What does that look like with you having what you're desiring here, what you're dreaming, what you're working towards? What does that look like? How are you staying balanced, body, mind, and soul? And from a spiritual, but also a 3D perspective, how are you balancing your time, your family, your resources, your emotional state? Those things are things that may come up for you to consider. Okay, so let's look at some guidance here. So we do have the 8 of Swords here. So you may be feeling in some way that and I really feel like this is like going down the path of like staying in the matrix and staying with the 9 to 5 and really trying to grow and expand there, as opposed to sort of like taking a little bit of a sidestep, like doing everything you need to do, but also working on things that make you happy and bring you joy in the meantime, and allowing yourself to prosper and grow in those areas, as well as maintaining status quo and keeping your finances together and your bills paid, and ensuring that you're able to take care of yourself. So I feel like you're going to find, and I don't want to persuade you either way, so I'm really trying not to say, but again, that is something that you'll have to work through and decide what is best for you. And for some of you, it may even be at this point in time that you do need to put extra effort there because you need that overtime, or you really need that position based off of some things that you're working towards or responsibilities that you do have. So there is no wrong choice here. If you decide you don't want to really explore that path of being self-sufficient at this time, again, it's based off of your personal situation and the things that you do have going on. So you don't ever want to take a leap or step where it doesn't feel good to you, it doesn't feel right to you, and you don't feel fully connected and in flow with that. But that is for you to decide here. And I do see that that may be an area where you're going to need to figure out. You're going to need to look at your options. You may want to meditate on it. Ensure you get those self-care practices in so you are thinking things through. And you have time to consider and decide what's the best path for yourself. We also have the Wheel of Fortune here as well. So for some of you, for some of you, you are being guided here to explore that path of entrepreneurialism. And again, that's not saying just quit your job, quit everything and work towards that. Excuse me, it's saying that there may be opportunity for you to create some balance there. So if you need to not take on as many projects or not do as much overtime so that you can start your side business, then that's that balance that is being brought up here. And that's just one example, and that's not going to work for everybody. That's not going to be the solution for everybody. But again, it's just an example of the ways that you're being guided here to really look at what you're doing and what's important to you and adjust it accordingly, so that you're getting your needs met in the 3D, but also emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Okay. So, with the guidance here is learning lessons, all the adjustments that you're taking, the ways that you're working through challenges and contrast that comes up, the ways that you're deciding and evaluating your options, and the actual actions that you're taking, and the circumstances that are occurring, and the outcomes that are happening. Lessons. It's all lessons. Whether you would define it as being successful or not, it's all a lesson. You can learn from every single experience, from everything that you're doing here. So don't forget the lessons in these experiences. Okay? Let's see what else we have here. So we have nurture. You nurturing opportunities is and relationships is clear here, guidance for you. So there may also be some soul family here that can be supportive to you, and just be very careful here about the information that you're sharing. So only share what you feel comfortable with sharing. Also, I'm hearing like, don't confuse things. Don't, if you're explaining something, you may want to just keep it very, very specific, as opposed to saying like, hey, you know, well, this happened and that happened, and then I have like this option and that option over there. So some of the information may get missed in your communication, so you may not get the best information for you, because they may be thinking in terms of like, oh, well, you know, they may take one thing that you're saying and go off on that and give you advice based on that, as opposed to looking at things holistically and giving you wisdom that they have. So again, soul family can be very helpful to you and supportive to you. Just be very mindful of what you communicate and how you communicate it, and be specific in the guidance that you're seeking here. And it's just information for you to process, for you to make the decision that's right for you. Okay. So what else? Let's go here. Let's get an oracle here. What else are we saying? Okay, so we have trust us from your guides, from your higher self, from source. You're being nurtured by your ancestors as well. So there's contracts here, there's karma, and there's generational trauma, as well as things from your childhood that need to be released, that you are working through as a part of your healing process, your evolution, your growth. So that will tie back to the spiritual component of this that we spoke about earlier. But this is you remembering who you are and what you came here to release and let go of, and how you came here to expand and grow. All right, so let's look at some outcomes here. Introspection, so learning lessons, gaining knowledge, and really taking that time to evaluate the things that you've learned and to make better choices for you as a result of the things that you've learned. What else? So we do have transformation happening here as well. That's wonderful. So that's why I really feel strongly, like I said, I don't want to try to influence you either way, but I'm really hearing this message about you like realizing like, hey, you know what? I could work 12 hours a day, or I could work 8 hours, and I can start that side business. So this is you really transforming into that powerful energy of you being more of your authentic self, and knowing that, yeah, this is really your path here with your gifts and your talents, your natural abilities. But again, you know, we may have responsibilities, we may be accountable and responsible for some things, and we may not be able to just switch immediately at this time. So you finding that balance is what we're seeing happen here. So wonderful. Awesome. All right, and to close us out, I do want to look at love and relationships here, because we do have Venus being sextile with Saturn on July 12th, and that is going to offer the opportunity to deepen your connections through steady devotion. So it's about you stabilizing reliability and commitment, and creating a field for your soulful bonding and relationship with your partner. So this is like the Knight of Pentacles here, where you're putting in, you're sowing those seeds and allowing you both to grow individually and together. So here we have it here. I love this. It just all aligns here. So this is you working diligently on your relationships, on your foundations, and creating strong bonds and strong foundations from which you are growing and expanding and learning from. What else? Okay, so I also feel like this is mastering emotions is a part of the process as well. So also you being more connected, and this could be either with your partner or you and your ego more divinely connected here, strengthening those bonds. So apply it however it fits and resonates with you. What else do we have here? So we have the Seven of Cups. Okay, wonderful. So you may find that there's a lot of ideas that are being sparked and ignited. So you may feel passionate about these things. And this could be just ideas for you to spend more time with your partner, to be in their presence, for you both to exchange energy in a different way. And it could also be about things that you can do together. And just recommitting to the love that you have for each other and the goals as well that you want to accomplish separately and together. Okay, so this is offering a lot of opportunity for growth here. So let's look at some obstacles here that you may encounter. So we have the Five of Swords here. Okay, so it may not come across, it may not be as easy as it's sounding here, and that's okay. We're having a human experience here, so we are growing and we're learning and we're experiencing and we're experimenting as well. We're testing things out, trying things that may work, may bring us closer together, or trying things that are going to bring out triggers, and that's helping us to understand who we are, where we're at, how we're operating, and we can grow and adjust and change and learn our lessons. And that is also bringing us closer together as well. Okay, so a lot of opportunity here. So let's look at some guidance here. So we have the Chariot. Allow yourself to be divinely guided and connect within. So when you're not quite sure what direction to go in, you have a lot of choices in front of you, you have a lot of wisdom, you've talked to a couple different people, you got some ideas, you're meditating and connecting. Allow all of that to flow and just quiet the mind and allow the information to come to you, allow that guidance to come to you. And it may not happen right at that moment in time. It may happen a little later, or it may happen after a couple sessions that you've had. But in my experience, it does come and it will come. Okay. What else? Let's look at outcomes. So we have the Empress. Wonderful. So finding that passion is what I'm seeing absolutely for sure. For some of you here, like bringing it back to the Lovers, lots of passion happening here. So that's going to be for some of you. What else here? Okay. This is you feeling desired, feeling like you are your beautiful, amazing, wonderful, talented, awesome self here. You getting your feeling back. Like, I'm hearing mojo. I don't even use that word, but that's what I heard. But it's like you feeling more and more like yourself. And it could be you working towards health and fitness goals here, you deciding and having a new agreement with your partner, or agreeing to adjust and change and maybe work out together. I mean, that's just an example here of what we're talking about, strengthening those bonds, spending more time together, working toward common goals, and you being stronger individually and together as a result of that. Wonderful. Okay, so let's get a couple oracles here. So we have heartache and loss. And give us a little guidance on that, please. So we have the Nine of Cups. Okay, so I feel like for many of you, this is about letting go of those emotional restrictions, those boundaries, ways that you've been keeping yourself stuck and stagnant. It is time to let those things go. It is time to allow yourself to process any pains that you've experienced as a result of this relationship or others. And let those things go. Take your lessons here, because that was the guidance. Take those lessons and move on and let go of everything else that is not serving you, it's not supporting you, it's not helping you to advance along your path and on your journey. It's so important for you to let those things go. and work towards that emotional fulfillment and stability that you are desiring. What else? So we have individuality. And thank you so much, because I have been saying that here, because this is not about, from a relationship perspective, this is not about you only working on you two together. This is about you working on yourselves individually and then also together as a partnership. Okay, so that is just that wonderful reminder of that. Don't lose yourself. Don't forget about yourself in this process. We also have the master number 11 here showing up. So I am going to put a link in the description to a short video on that if you are interested in learning more about that. So there may be some spiritual significance here within that number for you that may help you as well. All right, those are the messages I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful week.